Shannon Shula, Thurston County Public Works, Office of County Engineer.
Cheryl Haywood, Timberland Regional Library.
Dave Larson, Mayor Tenino.
Nancy Reddick, City of Tenina.
Jeff Bowe, Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council.
Matt Adusa, Pac Mountain. Matt Roundsley, Commissioner Fournier.
Evan Skype, Wolfhaven International.
And Tina Sharp's in the back, she's our RAD, which is Regional Agricultural Director for us, and doing a lot of jobs, she's doing over, let's see, 60 plus 550, 610 boxes this year on a monthly basis to go out to the community, so she might talk about that a little bit later today too. Want to welcome Nancy, the new clerk treasurer for the city of Tenino. Thank you for coming today, we're super excited to have you with us and be part of it, and want to learn from you as we go too. All the things that you guys are working on there in time to learn from as well. Our idea is to share best practices and lessons learned with this group on a monthly basis. And next we'll go with the county commissioners, and I don't know where we want to start in the room or start with Ty online with the chair. Are you there, Ty?
I am here. Thank you. Ty Menser, Thurston County Commissioner, District 3. Sorry not to be there in person. I have to be in Centralia at 9:30, so I'll be checking out around 8:45, but glad to be here virtually.
So the vice chair.
That was a loud squeak. Yeah, thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I will be spending the rest of my birthday in a tube getting a PET scan. So hopefully my birthday present will be no more cancer. So I did that, which I'm good now. So there's no scary reason I'm doing. It's a regular checkup, but I look forward to seeing them too. Just working on the budget, which if you watch our meetings, those aren't fun or comfortable discussions. Those are real serious discussions that we're having. I'm sure that you've read that us, like many other jurisdictions throughout Thurston County and the state, are facing some structural deficits. We are not facing this alone. If you went to the Thurston County Chamber meeting, you would have heard the governor saying the exact same things. It's the same theme everywhere. That over the last couple of years, there was just massive influx of money coming through to basically bail out and save the economy during things like the pandemic. And those monies, just what did he his analogy was great. He was saying that you get these one-time funds in, and you have to be careful with your home budget to not use one-time funds to sign up for a Netflix subscription that will, you get $50 in the mail, and you sign up for a Netflix subscription that costs you $10 a month. That that $50 that you got in the mail will go away quickly, and then you have to come up with money to carry on those ongoing operations. So as the pandemic happened, and we were fighting off, economic uncertainties, we ramped up things, and we brought in new programs, and we created new things for good reason. It's now very hard to have discussions about, pivoting and changing and figuring out how to right size our government structures and our service levels for today as opposed to what it needed to be in like 2020. So we're having those discussions, and again, they're not fun, they're not hard. We are hiring a new economic development manager. So Jennifer Machado left us for Olympia, good for Olympia. She's a great employee, she'll serve them well, but it created an opportunity for us to bring on a new staff member and plan out a new economic future with that person. We are also hiring what we have recreated as a strategic communications director. So we previously had an office of 4 that was overseen by a communications manager. We upped the level of that position to be a director level position that has more of a global stance in the county. We're doing that for very good reason. Our communication systems have been kind of siloed and disparate in the past, and where each little department and each elected office would have their own kind of communications goals and visions. We want to have a more global and unified approach to how we tell our story. And hopefully that position, we will make sure that that new position does that and meets that goal. And that'll give us a better ability to tell our story, which I feel the county has not done a good job of in the past. And when you're not telling your story, somebody else is going to be telling the story for you, and they're not always doing it on your terms or in your interests or truthfully. So that's happening. I'm excited about that. And the comp plan development is going, and we will have a comp plan in draft form soon, which will be a big deal for Thurston County and for all the other jurisdictions. That is my report. Turn it over to Commissioner Grant.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. I find it to be here in person. I often have, I actually have to leave here and go to my conflict, which is Nisqually River Council. I sit on that as well, and today we're having a retreat. So I'm headed from here to Eatonville to, I don't know, but I know that we're spending a bunch of time and I get to go out into the woods, so that's gonna be fun. I'll just echo, I kind of wanna continue on what Wayne was saying about the comp plan. I have that down on my list of, I was out here on Tuesday night, along with many others. Yelm had a city council meeting and brought together quite a few people, including Thurston County's team, to come out and talk about why the comp plan, the updates to the comp plan here in Yelm, but also in Thurston County. And really, we're at the end of a very long process with the comp plan, and it's now your time to really go in and take a look at those last things. And it's time for, if you have any questions about it, any updates, this is the time to do it. So just kind of letting people know that we are at the end, and public comments will be coming soon. So please pay attention if this is something that interests you. Other things for me, I also got to be a part of a really cool, which I think is important for South County, event this last month around wildfire readiness. And when they asked me to come speak, I said, well, I don't know anything about wildfires. And so I had to spend some time learning and understanding why that was so important to me, and why it would be really important for our South County and our South County neighbors. And I just want to mention that here of, in the process, I really learned a lot about the importance of, well, most of us might know why we should clear a path around the outside of our house. Many of the more low-income houses, I learned about something that happened recently, a wildfire that happened down in Ashland, Oregon, where 2,000 houses burned down. And to give you an example of what that would look like is if Clearwood burned down, where would we put everyone? Where would everyone go? What would we do as a resilient community? And so I just want to mention that as something that we should be thinking about and continuing to talk about. And I think that City Thurston Council, the Conservation District on here, and they're going to be talking about the efforts that they're going to be making as they're putting together something called the Thurston Mitigation Plan that's underway, and you're going to start thinking about ways to be involved in that. Other things going on, transportation. I sit on something called the Transportation Policy Board, and I want to mention that they're working right now on long-term, high capacity, and I never can remember all the words, so, they're looking at, yes, okay, so high capacity transportation, right? And I just want to mention, that, and also, biking, and we talked about this week and why that matters to our South County folks. And I just think that it's really important, that we mention that those conversations are underway, and those plans are underway, and that there's a lot of people who who maybe aren't so interested, but there are a lot of people who are. So if that's something that you're interested in getting involved in, and there's work going on currently, and reach out to me or any of these other amazing people in the room who might be talking about it today. And then the last thing, two more things, Board of Health. So the Board of Health recently, just this week, put out something called the Health Equity Plan, and I have to look at my notes. You can Google it yourself, because let's see, so it's the Journey to Health Equity. It is one of the first of its kind, and we're really excited that Thurston County was a part of this and that a group put this together, but it talks about lots of different things like, and it's all equity, how many kids are getting, access to different things. Lots of different ways about what kind of social determinants of health affects the way that we are responding, our life expectancy, things like that. So if you're interested in that, take a look. It's just getting published. It went out, I think, yesterday or the day before. And we're really excited about, and also pass that around on your website, share on your Chamber of Commerce, things like that. Last but not least, for me, I would like to personally invite you on Thursday, June 5th. I'm going to be having my first ever town hall-like event, and it will be at the Lacey Community Center at doors open at 5 o'clock. There'll be some organizations tabling, and it starts at 6. We will be gathering together voices of lived experience. There'll be law enforcement and behavioral health providers and community members, anyone that will come. We're gonna just start talking about what families need, what businesses are up against, talking about behavioral health, how mental health matters, talking about substance use disorder and homelessness. Really starting to just have some conversation about how these things are affecting both rural and urban, but mostly, really just starting to have a conversation about how all of these providers, I think there'll be over maybe at least 30 plus provider organizations there at the table in conversation. And so I really encourage people to come out. We'll be building connections, sharing perspectives, and it really is a collaborative space. So I really hope to get some people from our rural county to come and join us, and please spread the word. And I'll be getting invitations out, in the actual email. So please join us, and we'll see you there. That's it.
Commissioner Minster, did you have your hand up?
I did.
5, it's from 6 to 8.
Okay, Ty?
Can you hear me okay, George?
Loud
I
and
didn't
clear.
realize you were calling on me for a report. I thought you were calling on me to introduce myself. So I did want to add a couple of things that my colleagues did not. A couple things about the Board of Health. We had thought we were at the final stage of hiring a county health officer. That's a super important position in Thurston County, and that did not work out for some family reasons for that candidate. So we're kind of back to the drawing board a little bit, although we've been told we have a good slate of new applicants, so we'll be working through that process. Secondly, there's some kind of final resolution from the legislative session to the Board of Health. Yet again, we're going to be having to restructure due to legislative change, the third one in 4 years. And I wanted to say that here because our new structuring that we decided on was going to add a seat for South County representative, but that's going to be delayed as we wait for some guidance on these newest changes, and then we do everything in one swoop, hopefully by fall. So that is still coming, but it's going to be delayed from where we said it would be. And then finally, Thurston County is co-sponsoring on tomorrow a South Sound Climate Convention at Evergreen State College. I'm sitting on several panels. It's taken a lot of my time to prepare for all that. It's going to be, if you remember this, they had this in 2018 and 2019 at SPSCC Lacey. This one's going to be bigger by orders of magnitude. So if you're interested in finding out what's going on with climate work in Thurston County and beyond, it's an all-day event at Evergreen State College tomorrow. Thank you.
And county staff? Got that?
We're also accepting applications for the Thurston County Park density. We're running that.
You don't think they're on site with that? Awesome.
Hi, my name is April, Thurston County Public Works Solid Waste Division. So 2 exciting things for you today. Actually, the first I'm gonna highlight is a partnership with the city of Yelm. We are gonna come back to the space we're in right now on June 25th for a Recycling Matters series. So I'll pass around these flyers at the end. We also have 2 virtual ones coming up this year, so would love to get residents registered and participating. The second thing we have is a Hazo House reuse program. The Hazo House is at our Waste and Recovery Center in Lacey. So the goal is to get nonprofits registered and let them come in and take cleaning supplies, soaps, detergents, automobile oils, and cleaners. So it's things that people donate. Our Hazo House staff are awesome, so they're not gonna give you a tenth of a bottle of something. They're putting like the 90% to 100% because we get brand new things dropped off. Food, things, to nonprofits for free. So yeah, I'll pass that out at the end, but please give this to nonprofits in your community. Thank you.
Shannon?
Thank you. So I have a couple of things. One is that we're finishing up our glacial heritage, art, trailhead. So at Gate Belmore, so we're really excited about that. It should be finishing up later on this month, early next month. We will have a open house kind of ribbon cutting event on July 25th. So if you put that on your calendars, it'll happen after the commissioners break. The other thing that we have in Public Works is that we have declared a state of emergency for our Churchill Road at Spurgeon Creek, so that project is getting away. We had some failing culverts, so if you live down in that area, there will be construction happening very quickly in that area. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Those are 2 things.
George, can I say something with you?
I'll just bring it to you, man.
Yes, so as Wayne threw in at the end, the art contest is about to start accepting submissions. Submissions are accepted May 27th to May 30th. There are 4 drop locations in Thurston County. Our big push this year was to engage with South County more. We found that that was a piece we were lacking last year. So this year, thanks to Rainier and Yelm, there'll be 2 drop locations in South County proper, one at Yelm City Hall and one at Rainier City Hall. And then there will be one in Public Works, so that way we can hit kind of that middle ground. And then for all of the North County, the atrium is that drop location. And I want to emphasize it's all ages, all talents, all mediums, all talents. It can be whatever you can create. So I want to see your art.
And then again, it's
Yeah, May 27th to May 30th, Yelm and Rainier, it's May 27th to May 20th.
Thanks.
Ashley, did you have anything you wanted to share?
George, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share, but I have nothing today. Thank you.
I think that's a first, Ashley.
Is that a good thing?
That's a great thing today. We got a room full. So. Sarah, congressional update.
Good morning, everyone. Apologies for not being there in person with you all, but really appreciate the Zoom option. Not much of an update on my end, just that we are still going through our CPF process and deciding which of our applicants are moving forward or not, and we will publicize a list of that in the next couple of weeks as those decisions are being finalized at the moment. If anybody ever needs help with grant information for their organizations, if you're looking for new opportunities, please reach out. If something has happened with a grant that you have been awarded previously and you need help with a federal agency or federal agencies have become unresponsive, please feel free to reach out to our office anytime. We are here to help organizations specifically deal with problems like these, and we want to be a resource in terms of finding new grant opportunities for any organization. So yeah, I'm here to help if anybody needs it. feel free to reach out. Thanks so much, George.
Thank you, Sarah. And I don't think I missed any other congressional staff today. I know Daniel's on vacation or something new with the end of the year. I did hear back from Cameron, so we'll go to Jeff.
Yep. All right.
All right, we're gonna get this meeting started with the wave. Who here remembers the wave?
Remember the
wave?
Right.
Anywhere. So when I was a kid, I saw the Kingdom in Seattle, go to Mariners game or Seahawks game, someone would stand up and go like this, and everybody would follow it, go all the way around. So we start off with that. Because and this morning, we got you can see. I'm gonna just take it all around and check the movie. And we go, yes, all right, see, now we're ready to go. I got them warmed up.
All right,
for that.
all right, fantastic. So, hey, we already introduced ourselves, so I'm gonna skip that first slide, but as you can see, we got a little football theme going on. How many football fans we got in the room? Yeah, a lot. How many Swifty fans? There we go. Got that. Just gotta throw that in.
There's always one.
Gotta make it fun. So, all right, really quick, we're gonna do two things. I have a question. Who can tell me what the red zone is when it comes to football?
What's the answer? Well, it's when you get to the end, or not the.
Exactly. Was someone else gonna say something?
In 10 yards.
25.
30.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, I just like that because you're exactly right. The red zone is basically statistically it's the highest scoring opportunities, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some high scoring opportunities, within the community, our employers, Pack Mountain. So we're going to highlight that today. But next we're going to do a 2-minute drill. So we got 2 minutes through the time. There's 2 questions on the screen here. What about your job gets you excited to go to work each day? And what benefits does your employer offer that make you feel valued? In the next 2 minutes, just talk to your neighbor and talk about those 2 questions and then make some notes. We're going to come back to that in a few minutes, but please, starting right now, 2 minutes to talk about it, all right? I'm set my timer now. Okay. So save those, save your thoughts, save your comments. We're gonna come back to what you discussed here in a few moments. Got a few more slides to go through. We're gonna come back to what you've discussed. We believe in active participation. Are you observing that today? All right, just next.
All right, thanks, Matt. Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council, Half Mountain, who knows what we do? Some of you, down in the,
I'm doing a spot.
yeah.
Okay, you work with individuals, to train them to find, permanent employment. Do you work with companies and people looking for employment and like kind of the connector between them? You also use some of those companies as training organizations or businesses to train employer or potential employer in the field or.
Just give them a huge hand. Exactly right. We work very closely with, have that in Danny as a training partner, to bring people into the production, get support experience, so they go on to high wage jobs and high demand industries. Matt and I are our only job is to work with employers, and we rely very heavily on labor market data to understand in our communities. And that would be 5-county region, so Thurston County, Pacific County, Grace Harbor County, Lewis County, Bates County. We work very hard to understand which employers are hiring. What are the in-demand industries? And we talk to those employers and we learn from them, what is it they want their future workforce to look like? What skills they need to get that job that they're wanting to hire for? What credentials do they need? And then we help get individuals come to that and train that individual industry. It's been an interesting transition in workforce. Old school model was sort of have a job seeker kind of wandering through the workforce office with all of these workforce offices. And they talk to a case manager, and the case manager would say, hey, what do you want to do with your life? You know, maybe you have been employed for a while, maybe you just got laid off. And it's an industry that doesn't know hiring. What do you want to do with your life? Old school model is, hey, I want to be an anthropologist. And people would say, that's fantastic, super positive, let's go, let's get your training to the classes you need to do that. So they become an anthropologist, and guess what? How many anthropologists are there in our region? How many cities are hiring for anthropologists? Pretty much close to none, right? So we've done all this work, we spent all this money training people to get a job that's not there. So we need to understand the jobs that are there. That's the new model. That's what Matt and I do, is we work with employers to understand what skills, what credentials are needed to get jobs in industries that are hiring. And then we work with those job seekers to educate them about those jobs, get them trained, get them hired. Matt?
All right, so we're gonna go briefly into sector strategy, a little more about what we do, but I have another question for you. Who can tell me what a razzle dazzle play is?
Doesn't matter.
What's that?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that would be a razzle dazzle play. Exactly. Anyone else? Great example. There you go. Yeah, basically it's a, you know, it could be a trick play or the high, you know, high percentage play, high performance play. But you're watching TV and you're like, wow, that was amazing. You know, that's a razzle dazzle play. And that's what we're talking about with sector strategy. So we didn't go into it, but Jeff and I, we have sectors that we focus on. So I focus on forest and wood products, IT, telecom, and tech, and then logistics manufacturing. I've been at Pack Mountain for a year. Prior, I spent 23 years in higher ed. So I also have adult learning and higher ed as well as far as institutions in our region. Why don't you real quick tell them your sectors that you focus on?
Well, you all know I love hospitality. Spent time in different hotels, Hotel Mahano, what used to be the Hotel Railroad Line, work experience and lived in non for almost 8 years. So I love hospitality. It happens to be an in-demand sector. We know from talking to our hoteliers, and every time you go to a restaurant, how long does it take you to get served, right? They need people, they need staff. Hospitality, food production. So we have a huge community of shelters producers here in our region. So that would be an example of food production, but that also includes agriculture and farms. People working on farms to make sure the that we have the food that we need, and it gets into the supply chain, so that we can also sustain ourselves. Very, very important work, hard work as well. Well, that's an in-demand industry in our region. And then the third that I work with is, healthcare, which always makes the list. We always need doctors, nurses, so we need to understand what the hospitals need and get people trained to go into that industry.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And so our razzle dazzle playbook is sector strategy. That's what we focus on. I'm not gonna read the entire slide, but the 3 points we focus on is identify those, oh, whoops, something's there. They went down there. We identify high demand occupations. Jeff highlighted that a few moments ago, but that's what we focus on in those sectors. What are those high demand opportunities? Once we, figure those out, we find those out, we build training capacity. That's the next point there. I'll go by my notes here. So, yeah, targeted training, we build capacity. Because if there's skills and opportunities for employers and job seekers out there, if we can't build that succession plan, we can't fill those jobs, right? And we need that. So an example is, we have companies in our region right now that need welders, and there's not enough welders to do the work. And so that's a high demand opportunity. It's paying real well. We need some additional training capacity for welders, specifically aluminum welding. That's a even bigger opportunity right now. So just keep that in mind. And then the last one is just enhance career pathways. And so that's that A to Z play. Begin with the end in mind. How do we listen to an employer what their need is, and then we have job seeker A, what training, what skills do we need to give them, and get them to get those credentials, and then get them back to that employer to be hired and have that sustainable wage. All right. Yeah.
So let's talk about career pathways. So in football terminology, there's a touchdown, right? Getting you the red zone, the grade score. A career pathway would be sort of like the first down. So the only way to get a touchdown is just to get first downs. First down, you get the touchdown. So career pathways are really important because it takes work experiences and it takes training to get to the high wage job in the high demand industry. Okay. It starts with education. And I'm talking early education. We're talking PT programs in high schools, talking about the eighth grader, helping them understand what employers are in our region that are hiring so that they don't have to go to STEDI to work for a large manufacturer or work for a large hotel. We have those experiences, we have those employers here in Thurston County, great part of those things in the but we need to know that. We don't know what we don't know. I was never working with that. I didn't have anybody come to my high school and tell me, hey, Jeff, you'd be really good in hospitality, you should go work at a hotel. No one told me that. I happened to fall into it. I was in college and graduated. I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I got into a couple of sales jobs, but I applied for the job with a corporate housing company, and the guys brought me in and in the hired me, and I didn't have an experience other than just in sales and private marketing. And I kind of asked him, I said, so why did you hire me? I don't have any experience working at a hotel. And he says, well, I saw you did an internship at KGR Radio and worked for the fabulous sports day. And I love her show. So I didn't want to talk to him. I fell in the hospitality, but no one told me I should go do it. I didn't know what I didn't know. So we need to get to the high school kids and give them the information, get them interested in these in-demand industries. So that's a career pathway. We have many ways we do that. If you go onto our website, www.packmountain.org, there's a whole page on the career pathways for the 6 in-demand sectors that we just talked about. It talks about the wages for employers in our region. It talks about the skills that you need, the credentials that you need, how you can get those skills and credentials. And then ultimately, Pack Mountain, we do have various financial and community public jobs that they're still taking. That's what the jobs are part. So I love career pathways. I'm excited about it. We're right now we're pushing out a campaign we're calling Opportunity Begins Here, and it's the variant of WorkSource. Right, you don't do a WorkSource office. Nobody wants to go to a WorkSource office. It's like a government institute. But Opportunity Begins Here. It sounds exciting. Lots of colors and talk about how fun these industries are to work in. Introduce job seekers to employers. That's how we're going to be excited. That's an opportunity it's all about. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna go back to your discussion points here that we did a few moments ago. So we had that 2-minute drill, talk about what gets you excited to go to work every day, what benefits does your employer have to offer. We'd like to hear just a few examples. We only have time for a few, but who would like to share real quick? What did you discuss?
So person I talked to here later tonight who said.
Hey, man.
When he was employed, he does have summer off, he's an educator, and so we bring them.
It's nice perk having summers off, so, and we thank you for our educators, and that's a nice perk, so thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Couple more. Yes.
Month, we found use for those month, probably in the side.
Very nice, all right.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, I never go to the massage place, but I do love those chair massagers, like at the mall or at the airport when you're waiting to board, you know, it's kind of nice. So good one. All right, one more, yes. That's all. But we'll work it all, we're good time. Yeah. Three first, I think I saw one more hand.
Here, what is the official working with the satisfaction?
All right. Fantastic example. Yeah, thanks for sharing. You know, it's very important to think as an employer, if you own your own business or if you're part of a large corporation to be, you know, or small, medium, large, it doesn't matter, but talk about what those quality jobs are. You know, what makes you a high road employer? It comes down to, you know, wages, benefits, flexibility, some different perks that, you know, the time off during the summertime. And so what we have up here now, one of our peer regions, in Southwest Washington, they listed out some quality jobs, criteria, and they have like self-sufficient wages, safe working conditions, predictable hours is on there, comprehensive benefits, good training and advancement opportunities. And so, you know, that's a comprehensive list. You have examples as well. We encourage you to keep this conversation going. That's all about today, because in our region, we want to focus on quality jobs. We want to focus on employers being what we call high road employers, and this is what makes a difference. All right, last slide. Success stories. All right, so I'm gonna hit on a couple points, and Jeff's gonna wrap us up, but it's kind of a cliche, but I always say facts tell, but stories sell, don't they? Right? Okay, and we like to tell stories here at Pack Mountain. So a couple of our success stories, and we have Sierra Pacific and then Bond Pump. You know, they're in our region, and they're just we got a lot of fantastic partners, so it's hard to pick. We got so many to pick from, but the two that we want to highlight are these two, just because Sierra Pacific, they're very actively involved with Pack Mountain, doing income worker training and on-the-job training, various programs that we have to offer to support employers, help pay for costs for training, get the folks on board. So if you know, if any of that piques your interest, get with Jeff and I when we talk about it. Same thing with Bond Pump out in the Elma area. I mean, as far as Grace Harbor County, they do some great work in the community and have some great onboarding programs and partner with us very much. So I think they just got an award. I forgot the name of it, but they just got an award for the work they're doing out there. And so some definitely opportunities. If you have any success stories or things you want to share with us in Pack Mountain, we definitely want to partner with you and get that word out. It's very important.
And I'll just mention just our next generation partnership, that we're doing for each of our in-demand sectors. Matt's working on one right now for the manufacturing sector. I just completed one for the hospitality sector, and we gathered all the employers and all of the other providers and partners dedicate their mouth and let the employers talk, you know. So we now have 4 work groups that, you know, as a part of that. One of them was destination marketing, but the other 3 were all over the place. So we're looking forward to seeing that, the continuation of that in 6 sectors. And then finally, the last thing we want to mention is the partnership that we have with the Department of Commerce, and I put flyers on all of your tables. This is a free training for employers, and the idea behind the training is actually 3 separate days, non-consecutive days. So it's a little bit of a commitment, but the outcomes are fantastic. The idea is we want to talk to employers, create a cohort with employers to talk to each other about how to create an environment that encourages flexibility for employees and families. So we talk about child care issues, but there are barriers to employment. So we think that there are ways that we can overcome those types of barriers And we established a cohort and put on by the Department of Commerce. Actually at Grace Harbor College. We've got a couple of slots left, and we're trying to get it wrapped up today. Honestly, the deadline today, that's just, if you think it's a fit in the business, please. Register or you can come talk to us. Fantastic opportunity, there's an opportunity. With that,
All right.
I don't think we have a lot of time.
No, we're done. Thank you for your time. We appreciate your attention and contribution. We'll see everything without the call. All right, all right.
Thank you, Joe. Next up, I've asked Cody Colt to come and speak. I've seen Cody about 3 times this year already speak at the Yelm Chamber of Commerce on city council meetings that I watch at 2 in the morning. And he's done an amazing job here and what they're doing to support businesses. And it just blew me away how interactive and how supportive they are. But just so I asked him to come and talk about how they do the things here in Yelm and the customer service that they're providing. So please welcome Cody Colt.
Thank you. I'll use the microphone, or do you guys hear me? Okay, no microphone? Okay.
That's cool.
Very brief, I don't like PowerPoints reading them to you, so, and you can read, so I'm not gonna do that. So I got just a couple like main points that we use in the city to kind of promote business. You always hear from a business perspective, like, how can I, grow my business? How can I do this? But you always hear the difficulties working with cities or a county or a state, right? Like, hey, the city, they're so encumbersome, I can't get through the process. It takes forever to get my permit. It does all these things. You never hear from the city perspective of how you can make those things easier for business. So I was gonna kind of give some tips. I know there's a lot of South Sound cities here that'll kind of help you go through the process and maybe accelerate things, and some stuff we've done in Yelm with the help of our mayor and council and just our whole entire department to kind of make things smoother for us. So there's 4 main things I think you need to follow as a city, a small city especially, and ensuring that business is successful where you're at. Partnership, ease of access, fairness, and follow-up. And I'll dive into each one of those, but I want to kind of point, there's these 4 things are gonna go a long way. And a lot of times you'll see, and this was a case with us too, that one of these things we were missing, and that was stopping business from coming. I reached out to a business owner like, hey, you were halfway through the process, you're about to open your business, what happened? He goes, well, no one followed up with me, and I thought my permit expired or something. Oh, Fred, that never happened, you can go back through, or, well, someone told me I had to build a fence, and I didn't want to build a fence. Well, no, actually, you don't do this. So every one of these steps is important and integral to the process. And if you miss one, it'll make someone just not want to be in your town, or they'll just leave your town and go somewhere else. Now, I want to clarify, right, we're, as a city, you can't make 100% of the people happy. It's just, that's not gonna happen. You can walk down the street in Yelm and talk to 10 business owners. 8 are gonna say they love the city, 2 will say I'm the worst person on the planet, right? And they're probably the 2 that are doing something they shouldn't be doing, but that's how it works. The goal is just trying to keep fairness and everything in line so that we can get to an end result. So partnerships. You're all here, this is a great partnership. The other one that specifically in the city of Yelm we do is our Chamber of Commerce. A lot of times what will happen is the chamber will know a business is opening before the city does. And as a city, you probably know if a business opens somewhere and they maybe are a marijuana business and they open next to a school, they can't do that, but they don't know that. And so the chamber can normally get ahead of the game and let me know so I can get that business in the right direction. They'll go, hey, I want to open so-and-so, and they'll talk to Tina. And Tina will call me up and say, hey, this business wants to open, can they go here? And that's when we can start breaking down that process before they spend all their money and build something they can't open. And that's a nightmare for business. It happens all the time. I know every city probably has dealt with that at least once. A business gets ready to open, they're about to open their doors, and they finally go to the city and they realize, oh, I can't even build what I'm building here. I can't do this here. And they spent thousands of dollars. So Chamber of Commerce is our first line of defense in Yelm. You also have STEDI, right? We have the benefit of having a group of people that can reach out to small business owners and connect them with things they need to do and tools they need. Right? There's a lot of processes when you open a small business that you're probably not even thinking about. Right? Hey, I get my business license, I'm good to go, right? I got a business license, I can open up. Well, no, there's, you need a certificate of occupancy. You need to make sure Department of Health is allowing you to do your food cooking. You need to make sure you have grease interceptor or trap. You need to make sure you have adequate water. You need to make sure you have all these things need to go in. You can't just walk into a business and open it, which is unfortunate, but it is there. Thirsting EDC is another great tool, but here's 2 partnerships that a lot of people or a lot of cities don't do, and a lot of developers. So I have a personal line of communication in my team as well with developers. So a developer will come in, example given last week, we had a developer call and say, hey, I'm building 3 retail spots. They're about 1,200 square feet. Do you know anyone interested in those spots? I immediately call Tina and I say, Tina, I have 3 retail spots. Let the chamber know if anyone needs in there. Then when someone comes to me, a business owner or someone wants to open a business, they go, hey, I need about 1,200 square feet. Do you have anything? I can connect them directly with that developer. A lot of times there's that breakout in communication. Someone puts up a sign saying, Kidder Matthews, buy this commercial real estate. And it just sits there for years and years and years, but no one knows that connection or how to get there. So having a direct line with a developer building stuff, we can not only guide them in what we want them to build and what our town needs or our city needs, but we can also make that connection for them later, right? I can't make them sign a lease, I can't help them, but I can at least give them the connection so they can work on that process. And that's a big one. A lot of cities miss that. And this is, I don't know, and again, I don't know, I've only worked in Yelm, along with other jobs, but I'll have a developer Soundbuilt. They called me last week and they said, hey, we got a tenant coming in, can they come in our location? I said, yes, 100% they can. It's an authorized location, they can come in there. Whereas I don't know if that happens everywhere else, but it should happen everywhere else. That solves a lot of problems ahead of time before a lease is signed. The other one is local. So this is a very, and the reason why myself, Lynn, the mayor are in all these meetings is because a lot of times when I show up at a chamber meeting or I show up at a luncheon, there's someone there that wants to open a business and they don't know what to do. So I'm there, open face, give them my card. They can see and make that connection right away. They know who to contact if they have questions. If you have a question about how to open business, hey, Cody, I got a cell phone number. I can call him. He can either direct me to the right person or I can make sure that he'll get me to where I need to go. So it's a partnership. It's important that someone in your city or your town is going to these local meetings, these chamber of commerce meetings, these ribbon cuttings, to start making those connections so they feel like there's an open line of access to the city. Very, very important. And if you don't have get one of your officials out there, get your mayor out there, get one of your council members out there and start making those connections so they have someone to call. So that's a partnership. So those partnerships are paramount in this. Ease of access. So this is another thing. A lot of times people say, well, I don't even know what to do, right? I want to go in a city. I have the connection, but I don't even know what to do. One thing we offer in Yelm, and I know a lot of other cities do this, is a free pre-submission. So anyone can come in with an idea for free. They sign up online, they come in an idea for free. I want to build a fun zone in this area. We'll give them a written out instructions on how to go from A to B. So how to go from the start of the project all the way to the finishing of the project. And it's completely free. We do these every Wednesday, 2, 3, and 4. So 3 times a week, we can meet with anyone that wants to do it. It can be anyone who just has an idea or someone who's got a full-on developed plan and they can get a checklist of things they need to do to build that project. And that's huge. And it's totally free. So it's not cumbersome at all to someone new. If I wanted to open a business, I submit this thing, draw a little pencil sketch and show what I want to do. And then they'll help me. The city will help me go through this. I know Thurston County does pre-sub meetings. I'm not sure if your other cities are, but if you're not, this is something you should be doing. It saves so much heartache for not only you, but it also saves heartache for the business owner so they don't go and start investing in something. Pre-submission meetings are key and they should be. I think they should be free. Our mayor, thank goodness, and council thinks it should be free. I know some places charge for them, but I don't want people to not want to do it. I want people to go through this so it can save us a lot of work in the end. The other thing is lines of communication remain open. At the pre-sub meeting, every single person gets my number, my planning and building manager's number, and my planner's number, cell phone and work phone. So that way, if they have a question, they can call us and we'll call them right back. A lot of times, and I'll get to it in a second, we want to do emails for tracking things. We want to make sure we have written paperwork, but a phone call can save you a lot of heartache, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So lines of communication remain open and active, always bouncing back and forth, sending emails, CCing people so they know what's going on, so there's no confusion about what's going on. The other thing we do, and it's beneficial city, we're kind of a small city, every Wednesday, our whole entire engineering, planning, and building staff meets in one room, and we talk about every project in the city. Because a lot of times there will be disconnect between one and the other. In this example, when you get to a really, really big city, you may have the planning department's doing something, the engineering department's doing something else, and it doesn't even see the engineering department until the project's way past something, and there's some issue. Now it has to get kicked back and restart all over. And that's not a good thing because then it delays a project and people need their time is worth money, especially in the business community. We want things to go quickly. So at these weekly roundtables, every project in the city is presented. Any update on this project? Any update on this project? No. Is there anything issues? And we all talk as a team about it. So that way we can solve the problem at the lowest level and as early as possible, especially engineering issues. A lot of times when a project goes, it starts at the site plan or in the planning department. It goes to that project. They don't even have engineering in their mind when they're looking at it. They're just like, oh, does it meet code? Are the plants in the right spot? But when it gets to engineering, hey, you gotta put a water main right through here and you build 7 trees and a sidewalk. You can't do that. So we try to break that down ever before it gets to the point where they've gone through a huge site plan review and we have to tear it all apart. So those weekly roundtables with all staff, I know it's not practical in cities, you know, if you're in a big city or a big county, but at least you can get the leaders together to talk about projects on a weekly basis. And if they're not, it should be. Communication is key, and I mean, even at our weekly meetings, the mayor will sometimes come in and just get an update on what projects are going on. And that's so helpful, not only for us, but for him. If he talks to a resident out in town, he can go, yep, I learned about that project yesterday, this is where it's at in the phase, and this is when it will be done. That's why, another reason though, why the newspaper likes to run with our stuff is because we're so transparent about what's coming in town. You might see like, oh, Chick-fil-A submitted an application to Yelm. Well, they're in the pre-submission process. They probably have 4 years till they're gonna be built. But it's helpful, but it also causes some people to get really excited about things that may never come to town. So ease of access, very important. Fairness, this is where I've talked about some people will be angry with you. You have to do code enforcement, right? You have to ensure that your city follows the standards that are written in the code and council and mayor have passed for you. So zone code enforcement is what we do in Yelm. So we have sectors in Yelm that we focus on each quarter. We don't tell business owners of what zones those are because we don't want them to get, you know, I can put my sign up for 3 months and then I have to take it down next month, I put it back up. But we do zones that way. If one business gets a letter, the other businesses around them are also getting a letter for whatever they might be doing violating. So we try to do that to continue to keep fairness, appearance of fairness. The other one is solve the problem before it becomes a problem. The benefit we have in Yelm is most of our employees are local. That may not happen where you're at, but I drive through town every day. So if I drive through and I see Fun Time Toys across the street has something up, I go, oh, I know that's against our code. I'll just pull in and go, hey, you have to sign up, you have to fill out this permit, here's where you get it. That's the benefit we have is we live in Yelm and I drive around so much, I see things and we can often solve it before it becomes a problem. A lot of times you may not, if your staff or whoever isn't living in town, they may not see a problem right away, but you as someone who lives in town, especially as an elected official, you're seeing things constantly that, hey, that sign wasn't there, that business wasn't there yesterday, what the heck's going on? Let your team and department know so they can get to it before it becomes a problem. The benefit of living here is I can do that, but not everyone has that. So figure out a way that you have someone that's around town that knows the town well and can spot those things before they become problems. We don't want to punish someone, we have rather help them get to the right answer, right? And the other one is communicate and document. This is that tracking of record, right? Email people when you have, hey, I saw you had to sign up, go ahead and fix that, but send them an email afterwards so they have track of it. A lot of times in the busyness of a workday, people may forget what they're doing. So fairness is key too. And then follow. This is a part that a lot of people forget to do in a lot of cities. We weren't doing it in the city when I got here, and we've gotten way better about it. But dormant projects reach out. A lot of times what will happen is someone will submit something to your department. And this happens, I've seen it throughout countless cities. They'll submit a project and they'll think it's on your desk, but you've already responded to them. So they'll submit a new site plan, you've edited it and send them back comments, you need to fix these things. And they won't respond for 3 months. Well, as a city, your job isn't, you don't have to reach out to them, but we should, because if it's been sitting that long, what's going on? I've had multiple projects where we'll call someone and go, hey, we sent you this comment back about a month ago, you haven't sent us anything back, what's going on? They're like, oh my gosh, I thought you guys had it. I was waiting on you. So you can stop that issue of those dormant projects reaching points or people getting angry with the city hasn't responded to me because maybe something got lost in an inbox and put in a junk folder. It is always good to follow up with a phone call. Like, hey, I sent you this email, make sure you got it, it's got our red line comments on it. Example given, there's a big project going on where they're doing some boundary line adjustments down the street over at Prairie Park with a movie theater, right? They want to build all these things in Prairie Park. She submitted it, immediately called me and goes, hey, I submitted my thing, just wanted to make sure you got it. Yep, I got your application, we'll get back to the red lines probably in about a week and a half. I called her a week and a half later, hey, we sent you back red lines for an engineer, did you get it? Yep, I got it, great. Whereas if you didn't have that line of communication, you just send it to them and then 3 months go by and they go, hey, I had never heard anything. We sent it back to you 3 months ago. Continue to reach out. That's that gaps in response time too. If there's any issues or confusion, try to figure them out. It's easy. This is that last line. One phone call can save you 100 emails. I know you get preached and preached to send emails because you can track that, you have written documentation. But I can't tell you how many times I've called someone and told them, hey, this red line that we did, this is what it means. And they go, oh my gosh, I totally thought it was something different. I was going to adjust my entire plan. And I saved us 100 back and forth emails because you can't convey tone. You can't convey the importance of what they're doing. You can't convey all of those things over an email. That doesn't mean don't ever send an email. It just means do a phone call, be courteous. It's easy in our town. I get maybe, 10, 20 applications a week. So I can reach out to each of those people. I understand the county probably get like 3,000 applications in a week. But if you're in a small enough place where you can make phone calls with these people, do that. It just, one, it shows you're interested, and two, it shows you care about it. The other thing we do is, specifically in Yelm, we'll reach out to certain things we know we want when the developer says we have this area. Example given, like Panda Express. I love Panda Express. So I was like, I want to get Panda Express in Yelm. How can we do that? I started making phone calls, and I hooked up Panda Express with a local developer, and those developers are building a Panda Express in Yelm. I did all those connections because I cared so much about Panda Express. Find something, find a staff that cares about your city enough that reaches out, and find out what your council wants, right? If council says we want this thing, start reaching out to those. And you also have your partnerships to do that too. But a phone call is important, as, hearing a real voice is not something that people get every day now. And it goes a long way, and you'll have businesses that will choose to open in your city or town because of that phone call and that personal connection. And that's how quick we are, so. And the other thing is be brief. Don't want to bog people down with stuff, so. Any questions? I know it's really quick. Any questions about any of that? Okay. There you go.
Cody is a rock star in our state serving businesses. Thank you, Cody. Lynn, do you have any other things you want to share?
I guess I could just piggyback on what Cody says. We do our.
I'll now be doing my rendition of shares, if I can turn back time. Just to piggyback on Cody's acronym there, we follow kind of the same thing. Partnerships, ease of access, fairness, and follow-up. Cody did an excellent job. Our partnerships are really similar to you guys here. We like to partner with the library and our other businesses in town, organizations, nonprofits. Ease of access, we want to make sure that everybody can both afford to come to our programming and has the tools to come to our programming or our parks. So our new wheelchair accessible swing, that's an ease of access for a small percentage of our community, but they are also important. They are in our community. We have to make sure that we are including them. And play is for everyone. And if I see a kid on that swing or a grandma on that swing, I'm gonna be so gosh darn happy. Fairness is the same thing. We wanna make sure that everyone has something to do, whether it's the tiniest Yelmites or the most grown Yelmites. We wanna make sure there's something for everyone, and follow up with our vendors, follow up with our participants, make sure that they know what's coming next, so that they can get that on their calendars, and keep enjoying the fun that we're having. I believe it was up the last time we were here, but we have, please, on your way out, take a peek at the mural that's on this side of the building. It was done with a company that's based out of Canada. We had tiles that were painted by people in our community. And then they get sent to the company, and the company makes a mural out of it that they only pick 6 locations every season. So this mural, like the brick that I painted, is on my mural, but it's also in the other 5 communities that got selected this year. So when I see that mural, I'm super excited, but then I want to go to the other locations to see my work in it as well, because why not?
The other thing you put in your packet because of best practices is Lynn was on Facebook and posted about the events coming up this month, but she was also at city council talking about 42 events in 117 days that they'll be putting on. And so I just put the article in there too. Work with the Nisqually Valley News if you're on this side, or the Chronicle, or if you're down in Rochester, Grand Mountain, Tenino area, because they're the same paper working together, and they do a lot of stuff to cover what we're doing. They send out photographers and reporters, so make sure you're sending your information out to them. Tina, anything else from Chamber?
We just have a couple of events, Lynn's, or whatever is mentioned here. So the Prairie Days Parade is the 14th. And then the city's doing the national the 15th. But rocking through the ages, there's plenty of places to sign up and have some fun. We will have a 2 awards for best float and best costume. And then the next event we have will be here at City Park, July 26th is the barbecue rally. And we don't have any more room for any food vendors, but we do have space for business vendors.
Thanks, Tina. And I encourage you to go to the Chamber Facebook page and see the crazy costume race they did last month at the Nisqually Valley Expo. So, Justine, I was gonna put you up next because I know you have to go.
Thank you, George. I'm Justine Tapper with Medicine Creek Enterprise Corporation. Thank you, Mayor and City of Yelm for hosting today. I'm speaking on behalf of the Nisqually Indian Tribe. You may have noticed that Bob Ayala is not here, and I'll speak to that in a minute. So my brief overview of Nisqually updates, I just was asked yesterday, so I put together a Word document. It's very, very abridged. But we just had in this month of May, we had city council elections. We have a new vice chairwoman, and then 3 other members were reelected. And they will be this team of tribal council for the next 2 years. So that'll be a new vision, cohesive 2 years of working together. There's always quite a few changes, so it's nice to have a good, consistent team for the next 2 years. So that we don't have the PowerPoint or the Word document. We don't need it. I printed it off. So the Martin and Marvin project, there's the 250 plus or minus acres over by Cabela's. That's still on the pipeline for fee to trust application. The regional director just recently came, did a site visit, so that's going back to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So we're still waiting for the fee to trust application for that future development to continue. We also have the medically assisted treatment center that's on Pacific. It's the old Frankie's Pool Hall. They were hopeful that it would be up and running by now, but now it's looking like it would be about the fall. That is a substance use disorder treatment facility that gets you, once you have a substance use disorder, that gets you in full wraparound services. So that's off the reservation. It's for tribal members and non-tribal members. So we're really excited for that to be coming into our community. It's in Olympia, but it's close to Lacey as well. So that'll be hopefully in the fall, and there's some job openings for that. And so that's one of the things that's taking a little bit longer is to fully staff that operation and some licensing things as well. So look on the website if anybody's in that field. And then recently with the enterprise for the Nisqually Indian Tribe, the Medicine Creek Enterprise Corporation, we had a big turnover. So I talked to Bob Ayala today, and he publicly has mentioned, and it's out there, but he did resign from the enterprise. So with the new leadership, there's a new vision. So sometimes things happen and people pivot. So Bob Ayala has resigned. Our deputy CEO resigned. Our chief financial officer is not there anymore. Our HR director is not there. So if you can think about all that top leadership is gone. So we've implemented a new 5-member board that is going to oversee the operations of the enterprise, and they speak directly to the tribal council. So big things ahead for the enterprise. So even though there's a lot of change, a lot of uncertainty, it's really still an exciting time. So please continue to support Nisqually and their new vision and their new efforts. In the beginning of January, they just unbranded their Shell gas station, and now they're the Nisqually gas station. They just piloted it at the gas station across from the Redwood Casino. So great quality gas, better prices, and they're piloting it there. As I mentioned, they're looking to do that at other stores. We have 7 markets and gas stations throughout the area. They also have a Go Nisqually Markets app, so look into that. It's got some great promotions and good things that benefit the community as well. So with that said, with all those changes, and to wrap it up, there's a lot of opportunities for jobs. So please continue to look at the enterprise and the governance side of the Nisqually tribe to see if there's good jobs that align with things that you're looking for, and they're a great place to work. So thank you George for giving me this opportunity.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Question?
Hello. I would love to connect with you for our Memorial Day ceremony. Yeah, thank you.
Coda.
I'm here representing the president of the Improvement Club. She's a very busy mom. She's pregnant with her 3rd child, and she trusted me to read what she wrote. she said, we have weekly free community events on Mondays, and those events have been scheduled and booked for the rest of the year. Everybody is welcome to come and join us Monday afternoons, and we're working with big names like Love Covers, the Timberland Regional Library, and the Thurston Conservation District. The Improvement Club in the past year and a half has been trying to really help the community grow. I'm also on the planning commission, and we're just wrapping up our 6-year transportation improvement plan, public hearing next month. And I would personally, I have proposed getting the bike trail connected to Nino, because it's really nice.
We're trying.
He's trying.
Oh,
He
good,
says he's trying.
good, good. So am I. So we'd like to get that connected, and we've got some grant money, and we're looking for money to build a walking bridge over the volunteer park, where we've got grant money to upgrade the RV park, the baseball field, put some paving in the parking lot. It'd be nice to have the kids be able to walk across the Skookumchuck, and then have the bike trail connect us to downtown, and then get up to Tenino. I mean, the only downside is that we make it easy to get out of town, we may lose population. That's all I got, thanks. And thanks, Wayne, for helping us.
Hi, Diane Winkler with Grand Mountain Rochester Chamber of Commerce. We have a new perk for our chamber members. We set up a partnership with Fairfield Inn and Suites. On our website, we're offering discounts for booking rooms at the Fairfield for our chamber members, so that's exciting. Memorial Day coming up, we have a ribbon cutting at 10:30 out at the Grand Mountain Cemetery. And it's to honor an Eagle Scout project for the veterans, a Veterans Memorial Flag Pavilion that we put together. So if you have an opportunity at 10:30 on Memorial Day, stop on into the Grand Mountain Cemetery. It's off of 183rd, which has now improved pavement and walking area. So I'm excited about that. And we're super excited about the Belmore Gate Trail that is, if you drive out on Gate Road, you'll be able to see the pull off there has been paved and is being marked as we speak. So Sweet Days coming up, the third weekend in June. Festivities kick off on Friday, June 20th at 6 p.m. with the Princess Coronation. And then that includes a strawberry shortcake dessert at Sweet Hall. The next day, Saturday, is the full day, starting with breakfast at the hall. Highway 12 shuts down at 10 a.m. and the parade starts at 11. The fun continues with vendor booths, games, and a traditional Swedish dinner. Into the summer, we have early morning networking breakfast on July 11th at the Grand Mountain Fairfield Inn. It's an opportunity for all of our businesses to network and give their elevator speech to a crowd and get quality and impactful exposure. Today, I'd like to invite you, as Benny Morrow with Electrolux gives us a tour of their distribution center in Grand Mountain. Afterwards, after the tour, I invite everybody to go grab a friend and have lunch in Grand Mountain to continue our networking for your own mini business lunch.
What's interesting is the manager of the Electrolux Distribution Center is a high school graduate from Rochester, so I know.
Yeah, not.
We're on this side of the.
Thank you so much. A lot going on in Tenino. I think the biggest announcement, as you heard earlier, we do have a new clerk treasurer, and she's been here 2 weeks, and I think she's been subjected to a lot of things already. We're making progress on cleaning up some things we needed to, and I'm very grateful to have her with our city, and I think she's going to do great things to help us move forward as a city. On the other things, we have the official grand opening of our agricultural and innovation park on the 28th at 2:30. So that'll be nice. We had a kind of informal one some time ago when the north building opened, but we should have both buildings completed soon, hopefully by the time of this grand opening. So that's a big step for us. That was a project that's been long coming, so I appreciate all the work that people have done with that and look forward to that grand opening. We have a lot of stuff going on, just this time of year is crazy with keeping our park mode and all those kind of things that happen in the spring, so our public works is very, very busy trying to keep our park up to date. Our pool will be opening this summer and just went on sale, discounted early bird rate for season passes to the school, so if anybody uses our pool, it's beautiful. Encourage them to get an early season pass and take advantage of that. The other thing, we have several significant grants that we're gonna be starting here soon, this summer. I've talked about this before, and it's taken another one of those projects that's taken a long time to get started. A multi-million-dollar solar and battery storage project that's gonna connect to our high school for resiliency in the event of a natural disaster. We've had more meetings with PSC on that, so that should be moving forward soon. We got another grant for solar and storage at our cold storage warehouse for $380,000, I believe. That's gonna add to the resiliency of that building in the event of a disaster. A major grind and overlay on Old 99 going out west towards our ag park. We just opened the bids for that yesterday. They were significantly lower than we expected, so we're gonna be able to do even more paving out there, which will be it's a very needed area in our city that needed some upgrades, so that was another, I think, $400,000 project. Baseball field upgrades, $580,000. Yeah, $580,000 upgrades to our ball fields out there that should really improve the ability of teams to use those. So a lot of big projects going on tonight this summer, but really amazing what we've been able to do with grants in our community. And I actually got asked to speak at an AWC event on how was our little town managed to be so active in getting grants. So very happy about that. And I will turn it over to the chamber. I think Linda, talking more about it. Yes, we did have a meeting. It was open to all cities actually, but we went, they had a Department of Commerce had an event where cities and organizations could come and talk about barriers to especially small jurisdictions to be able to apply for these grants. It was very, very informative, and it seems like they were very sincere that they wanted to hear what was what.
I just felt they shared a lot of good information to them.
Yeah, so I thought one of the biggest things for our small city was a lot of the grants you get, you have to pay up front and then submit for reimbursement. So a lot of small cities don't have the cash available to do that. So one of the things I talked about was, can we have a consistent thing for small cities where they can make that available, that you can just, when you get the invoice, you can submit for that reimbursement and then be able to pay the bill versus the other way around. Because I think that would allow a lot of smaller cities to do some of these grants that they just don't have the money to put out up front and wait before I think that was my biggest, I'm trying to think of the other things, that was the big one, so.
Or EV stations right now opening.
Oh, not the EV station, yeah, that was another grant we got for $380,000, and it just got implemented at our ag park. We have 2 high-speed chargers and 2 level 2 charging, which is a little slower, but the bids came in so cheap, we were able to add 2 more behind the Sandstone Cafe. Depending on the cost of those, we're gonna try to add 1 more at least at our quarry house. So what was the original 2 fast chargers and 2 level 2s, and now it's turned into 2 fast chargers and probably 5 or 6 level 2 ones. So we made that money go a long ways, a lot farther than we thought we would.
The chamber's super excited about the EV station to try to get people to stop, stay, if they come on in that penalty. You guys have anything more? Joyce?
So our creative arts district is having a state convention at our ag park. It'll be, June 5th and 6th. So we're really excited about Tenino being selected as the city, that will, hold the convention. So that should be fun to have all of the creative people coming in, and along with that, I wanna talk about my business who has, 2 different artists that are in the garden area. Hope, I want people to know that they can come and see art at some of the businesses. And they're local artists, one is very, very creative, he thinks out of the box. Off in the la la land somewhere, because it's just fascinating to, you could stand there forever and look at what he's done and see new things all the time. So I encourage you to come in and see that, and then, I've hired a local artist, Maria Williams from Rochester, to do a beautiful mural on my garden fence that's between the stone carver shed and my building. She's got it half done. It's just stupendous. And that will be there then for our stone carvers. Tenino Arts Stone City Art Festival, June 14th, which is 10 a.m. to 3, which is on Olympia Street. Across from the, so farmers market is on one side of the highway, and then the event will be on the other side of the highway. And we'll have 40 stone carvers there. It's just gonna be a huge, huge celebration. And if you want something fun to do, I just encourage you all to come out to tonight on, the 14th then of June to do that. So what else, George? That's it.
Mayor Shaw, would you like to say anything for Rainier?
Nothing much has happened since last meeting, but if any of you saw on social media, our bathrooms were vandalized yesterday in broad daylight, 1 o'clock in the afternoon by 2 teenage girls. Drove into the parking lot, got out of their car, went into the bathrooms, messed around in there, went to the porta potty that we also have there, vandalized it. Went back into our bathrooms and vandalized some more. Thanks to social media, my treasurer Tammy, most of you know, got it on Facebook in a hurry. By last night, we had parents that have identified their children on Facebook, contacted us, and both moms and daughters will be meeting our public works director Monday morning at 8 o'clock to do some cleanup work. So, I'm not a social media person, but social media does sometimes help you. Especially if you have somebody that has a lot of followers on the social media, then yeah, that was kind of the big news that we found out this morning. I know there's some regular people here that let me know that we did find to analyze our bathrooms. That's about all, nothing different than what I said last week, and I know you're coming to the end of the day. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm not gonna speak long. I'd like to say though that Yelm has 42 events this summer, Radiant has 4. Jubilee on. It works. We have good events. On June 29th, Jubilee, July 19th and 20th, we're gonna have a monster swap meet, which is something new for the community. That should be a lot of fun. If you wanna have a table, just get in touch with me. I'll get you the person that's running that. 1776 in Camden on May 5th, August 15th and 16th. And then Bluegrass, we got a lot of stuff planned for the Bluegrass weekend. I'd also like to mention Representative Perez will be at the Rainier Senior Center. To talk on the 28th of this month. That's also Meatloaf Day at the Senior Center. And also, I'd really like to thank Bo Foster from Signature Realty and Design and Signs, a print shop that we have in our community, for the great sign that we have as you leave Rainier coming towards Yelm. If you haven't seen it yet, take a look. It's really pretty great. All donate to the sign and design signs, give us a good price on the sign. And I recommend that for anyone.
Thank you, George. The sign list does look great. Really.
Thank you. Couple big things for us. Our visitor guide is printed and on its way to our office and also our distribution. And so we are super excited about that. Next meeting, I will have some that I will bring so everyone can take some. Community guides are getting printed in June and probably the July meeting, I will bring all of those as well. Our sports awards is on June 4th this year, and I'm so excited to announce that we have athletes from Rainier, Tenino, Yelm, and Rochester nominated. Huge thank you to you, George, for connecting me with a lot of those people. And then this is just a shameless plug, if I can, George. On Wednesday, I will be presenting at the Southtown chapter about marketing for Washington festivals and events. It's all about artificial intelligence and SEO, which is search engine optimization. I've tried to make it very easily digestible, and so I hope to see you all there. George can give you more information on that.
All right, I'm Jeff, Executive Director at Wolf Haven. I have a lot of exciting community updates to share with you. Evan and I have been working on a lot of great projects lately. A couple months ago, we had our biggest and most successful fundraiser ever, Wolves and Wine, on March 15th. Wayne was there, as well as a lot of other supporters. Thank you all to all of you who have been supporting Wolf Haven. We raised about 10% of our annual revenue at that event, and we were super excited about it. So that was really fun. Evan and I are continuing to engage county, state, and federal representatives to raise funds for our state-of-the-art Treehouse Education Center, which we hope to construct on our property next fall, 2026. That'll become a really exciting new landmark on the landscape of South Thurston County, and bringing in, school groups and other visitors who are going to be able to enjoy Wolf Haven in a whole new way. It'll be ADA accessible, of course, super inclusive. We'll just be able to have more education visits with that Treehouse Education Center. So, of course, we're trying to raise funds. If you know anyone who might be interested in helping us fundraise for that capital campaign, I'd love to talk with you. Few other activities that we have going on. We have tomorrow our prairie celebration on 40 acres of our beautiful preserved and restored prairie lands. We have a brand new trail that we just recently cut through the gorgeous Gary Oak woodland that we have adjacent to our prairie. So that'll be the first time the public will be able to enjoy our rare oak woodland that's next to our prairie. So come on out tomorrow, 10 to 3 to enjoy our prairie. We'll have a lot of educational booths there, our partners, guided nature walks. You can check out our beautiful wildflowers that are going off right now. The following day, tomorrow or on Sunday, we'll also be tabling at Colvin Ranch, talking about some of our programs and our partnership with Colvin. A lot of exciting things. I'm sure many of you will be there. That'll be a fun day too. Later on in June, we're going to be reopening our sanctuary for sanctuary visits. We have actually a feature article coming out in the Seattle Times at the end of this month to help promote some of the reopening of our sanctuary. So check out the Seattle Times in a couple weeks for more information about that. And then finally, let me just say, we have our 21st annual Wildlife Handling and Chemical Immobilization course on the books. It's going to be this September. Registration is now open. This is a really exciting, intensive, hands-on course, a 3-day course for wildlife professionals, folks who are in animal control, livestock producers, anyone who's potentially handling domestic or wildlife could take this course and learn a lot. It's limited to 20 students. We work with the incredible Dr. Mark Johnson, who was actually the chief veterinarian in Yellowstone National Park in the mid-90s when the wolf reintroduction occurred there. So he's had decades of experience of hands-on, handling of wildlife, and he's the instructor. And so students in this course will be able to get hands-on experience with our wolves and with the instruction of him. So talk to me if you want to learn more about that. I will stop there. Sorry for all the information, but there's a lot of exciting things going on. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hi, everyone. Chelsea from the Regional Planning Council. Here to talk today about the bicycle connectivity strategy. We have a survey that is open to the public through the end of June. That's been shared on our Facebook page, is on our website as well. So please share that, take it yourself. It's really just asking what you envision for bicycling in our communities. We're looking at the entire Thurston region. We want to make sure that we're hearing from everybody. So please fill out that survey. The other thing that I just want to mention that's very exciting for rural transit, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about this more. I'm sorry, I'm also not sorry because I'm so excited, but our landing page on the Experience Olympia Beyond website is complete and it is beautiful, if I can say so myself. It features all the rural transit routes. It highlights businesses that are within walking distance of the rural transit bus stops. It talks about the community events going on in each of the communities this summer. So it's just a great one-stop shop for all things having to do with the southern part of Thurston County.
Thank you. I'm Amy. I'm at Thurston Regional Planning Council as well, and I coordinate the rural transit program. And do want to, I'm teasing about the stealing the thunder thing. I think ever since I took over the program a few years ago from Karen Parkhurst, I really wanted to make sure that we had the connection where we're demonstrating how using rural transit, you can get to your communities, get to your festivals, and be able to enjoy them and not have to worry about driving. And I think that the custom landing page that Chelsea and Emily have been able to design and the team is just a huge boon for that. And I think it'll be a great reciprocal relationship with, getting folks to ride transit, but also getting to your communities and then they can enjoy all the things and not be on the road. So love that. And then other things with rural transit, we're, as you guys know, we're grant funded. So we're still waiting on the legislative session is concluded, but we're waiting for the governor to sign to find out where we're at. The dollars that were requested this last time were our Saturday service and our service to Yelm, and then the expansion over into Mellon Street that connects to Grays Harbor, and then Lewis Transit as well. So we're hopeful that we will get those dollars. And then we also made a request for new vehicles because our vehicles are about 500,000 miles in and it's time. So we're hopeful for that as well. Let's see, and I guess in preparation, because we are grant funded and we are trying to grow this program and make it better. Chelsea is helping, in the next month or two, we'll be launching a survey because it's Survey Palooza time. We're launching a survey out to all of you and the community to find out how you would like to see the service improve, and serve better. So that's where we're at.
Nora, you're up.
Good morning, Nora with the Thurston Conservation District. We have a couple of exciting things going on. Well, we're just about to enter our busy summer season of events. So we've got quite a few things going on this weekend. Tomorrow on Saturday, we are holding a event for the public about that community wildfire protection plan that Commissioner Grant mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. That's at the Violet Prairie Grange, and it is going to be a fun event that's family friendly, and I encourage everybody to participate. If you're not able to come out, we do still have a survey out about that protection plan. We've had really good response rate, but that's from 10 to 12 tomorrow at the Violet Prairie Grange. We'll also be at Colvin Ranch on Saturday or on Sunday, and we also have an irrigation hands-on workshop in Rochester at Piece by Piece Farm on Sunday as well. The other exciting news, every May our board elections get certified, and if we've got new appointed board members from the Washington State Conservation Commission, that happens at their meeting. That meeting was this week, and so our election results were certified. And we also have a new board supervisor via appointment, and that is Jennifer Colvin from Colvin Ranch. So we're really excited to welcome her to our board of supervisors. I think she'll be a great addition. And I guess I'm just going to keep it there. If you want to come to events or want to know what's going on, please subscribe to our newsletter or check out our website. It is a really packed summer, so you'll hear lots more of events coming up.
Thank you, Nora. Habitat.
I got a couple of things. One kind of thing that's really exciting
is in July, we will be opening up applications for the second half of our water development in the first phase of our Yelm development. So I would encourage all of you to connect with your people, follow us on social media, go on our website, sign up for our email letter, because in late June, we will be having information sessions on the process to the home ownership and the development. So that's really exciting. Then I will let Chrissy say some more things.
Yeah. I'll make it real quick. First of all, we've got our Habitat Gala. Tickets will be on sale soon, but we currently have it open for sponsorship and table captains. So if you're interested in captaining the table, please let me know. Also, tomorrow will be our very last day of Women Build this year, and I want to give special recognition to Lynn Roy, who is still at this point #1 fundraiser for the whole community event. But she's currently in second, so you still have time to hop on Lynn Roy's page and get her team to #1. She also has won 2 tickets to our gala with her efforts. So if anyone would like to join Lynn at the gala, this will be your time. And she got a tattoo, yes. I will also point out with the Women Build, our goal this year was to raise $80,000. As of this morning, we're at 96,760. Community has really shown up. We've had 250 women on site over 2 weeks, building, fundraising, and doing some amazing work. So thank you, Lynn, for your efforts.
And Bruce and Trish Palmer, who also have been volunteering here in the Women's Bill, so.
Yes, thank you.
Gina, do you have anything?
Thurston County Development Council. I work for the Thurston Economic Development Council, and one of our projects is Southwest Washington Food Hub. We will also be at Lone Ridge this Sunday. We're proud that we are able to provide 550 food boxes to the Nisqually tribe each month for local food purchase assistance grant, and 25 to Nature Nurture's Pharmacy, and 42 to Toledo Neighbors Food Bank. We're trying to expand that. We are also in talks with Valley View to explore food as medicine, to be able to get some fresh local food out to people who are at risk for or have chronic illnesses. So really exciting stuff going on. We're also gonna have our community subscription box program launching in June. We had, like I said, Golden Ranch, and have more information on that. If you're interested in that program, you go to at southwestwashingtonfoodhub.com on the internet, or you can email info@swwa.hub.com.
Thanks, yeah. Maggie is over in Spokane at the Port Association, so she emailed in her report. So last week they had an electric ferry system come down to do a demonstration in Olympia. So the possibility of having a ferry that goes from Olympia to Seattle is in the works for maybe next year to take place. And then the Hands-on Children Museum purchased a sale agreement with the city of Olympia for the expansion of the museum was approved with the commissioners. And exciting news, construction extension expected to begin in fall of 2026. And be opening in the winter 27-28. South Puget Sound Habitat Women's Build have 5 participants, including yourself, Alex Smith, Damian Egan, Barbara, Senior Manager, and Hannah Ellis, Contract Specialist. The Public Works Association is in Spokane. They had everybody attending that as well. And that's her report. And anybody else have any other announcements?
Farm guides available, it covers 4 county region, please grab some and take them back to your communities, some of the community farmland trusts.
Anybody else? Thanks again to Lynn and Cody for organizing. We had some no-shows today, so there is some food back there. I think Tina's gonna take a few, but anybody else wants to take a burrito for lunch, please do. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah.